Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on just the DCTV and CW DC shows as a whole, because some interesting updates came out and it definitely raises a couple of questions. But yeah, we have known for a while that the CW was up for sale and that the company known as Nexstar or Nexstar Media Group was leading the charge to buy out the majority share. But what wasn't clear from their side was what they had planned to do with the CW once they did gain control of it. Now, Nexstar already did own a lot of the CW affiliated channels throughout different parts of the United States, so some thought that there wouldn't be that big of a change, but the majority of people within the media and just watching from the outside in thought that there would have to be some sort of considerable change in how the CW will operate, because basically shortly after this news started to come out, shows started to get cancelled and they started to really clean the slate of how many scripted CW shows there were. But once again, it just came down to what extent Nexstar was going to do once they gained control. And well, now we have a pretty clear idea as to what the CW will look like, not 5 years from now, but potentially within the next 12 months or so. And yeah, it's going to be quite the change. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts on this, because I'm sure it's going to be interesting to see what you guys think and where things might go, going forward with stuff that's currently on the CW. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, why not drop a like on it for what it's worth. But yeah, so they gave like a general meeting thing. I'm gonna go over the TV line article because they're usually good when it comes to TV stuff, so we'll just go over the quotes that they have. So during a press conference call over the past 24 hours, the president and chief operating officer of Nexstar, who is called Tom Carter, did share the strategy that the company is going to have for making the CW profitable in the years to come, which will include content that appeals to an older audience that the CW has previously targeted, which has been the teen or like 18 to 34. That's like the age range that Nexstar believes that the CW has been targeting, from 18 years to 34 years, which is pretty accurate. But of course, in regards to the CW being profitable, that news came out that the CW has never been profitable, but it was never meant to, because it was built off making the content and then selling it to places like Netflix, which made them a lot of money. But unfortunately, because of all these new streaming services and HBO Max and Paramount Plus being a thing where the new content that those respective studios makes goes to those streaming services, there's little to no growth potential in regards to selling off shows like The Flash and Legends and stuff like that to Netflix. That doesn't exist anymore for the most part. But anyway, this is what Tom Carter had to say. As many of you are aware, the CW is currently the lowest rated broadcast network, which we believe largely reflects the fact that its programming is targeted for an 18 to 34 audience demographic, while the average age of the CW broadcast viewer is 58 years. That might surprise you, but I'll break down why that's the case. Over time, we'll be taking a different approach to our CW programming strategy, and Carter also noted that in the near future, the CW will add more cost-effective unscripted programming and, quote, high-quality syndicated programming to its lineup, which he indicated is a departure from the prior predominant focus on expensive, original scripted content, which is uncommon among major broadcast networks. So he's talking about how, like, each day of the week, they'd have two original scripted shows like The Flash, Superman and Lois, Stargirl, Batwoman, Legends, Supergirl, Supernatural, Walker, Riverdale, Kung Fu, all those shows. He's pretty much saying don't expect any of that coming, in the near future. Now, obviously, the big thing that's been put out there without really any explanation is just a headline that a lot of different accounts and article places are putting out there to sort of get people confused and, everything like that, and create talk around something without explaining it, is when he says the average age of the CW broadcast viewer is 58 years. Now, it's very important to remember the CW is a channel that runs for 24 hours a day. It doesn't just run for 2 hours a day each night, from 7 to 9 or 8 to 10, depending on where you live in America. It runs 24 hours. So sure, for those 2 hours in prime time, they might have a show like Superman and Lois and then Riverdale, or The Flash and then Kung Fu, which appeals to that 18 to 34 age range. But then for those other 20 to 22 hours throughout the day, they're playing shows like Judge Judy or Judge Jerry, Maury Povich, true crime shows, then like syndicated programming of older shows as well, like older sitcoms and everything like that. That's what's filling up the rest of the CW for the vast majority of that 24-hour period. And who's going to be watching that? That's where that average viewer of 58 years comes in, because it's played throughout the day. It's stuff that people just chuck on the background for the most part. You know, people aren't really watching it. It's there just in the background while they're doing other things. So that's pretty much the building block that Next Star is going to build off. It's like, well, we already do that for, you know, the CW already does that for 20 to 22 hours of the day. We're just going to make that the case for 24 hours of the day, but they'll probably put the more, you know, this high quality syndicated programming, like mentioned there, in prime time. So they'll get something from England or Canada or Australia or New Zealand, like they already do at the moment, and they'll put it there. Like they've currently got Wellington Paranormal. They've got an Australian show on there at the moment called Bump, which are higher quality streaming shows, or, you know, higher quality shows in those respective countries that the CW wouldn't have to pay much for because they're international. So it's easy to put on there at prime time, and not play during the middle of the day because it's, as I said, more high quality. So that's pretty much what they're aiming to do. Now, the issue with that and not really having any original scripted programming is that there's just a lack of development of writers going forward. So Zach Stentz, who, and we'll get to like what it means for current shows in a second, but Zach Stentz, who wrote a couple of episodes for The Flash and was also like a writing consultant, I think in like season 3 or season 2 of The Flash. He wrote this on Twitter. He goes, "Whatever you think of the CW creatively, shows like Arrow and Riverdale had big writing staffs and sent their writers to set and let them sit in post-production to learn how to produce. Dozens, if not hundreds of writers got their start on CW shows. This is not happy news." And he goes on to say, "The math goes like this. A CW DC show, 13 to 23 episodes every year, 10 to 12 writers on staff, plus assistants, and a script coordinator who often get a story or script as an audition for staffing. And then you have Peacemaker on HBO Max, 8 episodes every 18, sometimes 24 months, because it looks like there's going to be even bigger break between season 1 and season 2 of that show. All of them written by one person, in that case, James Gunn." But then he does go on to say, "Don't get me wrong, he loves Peacemaker, but it's the passion project of one guy. It's never going to be a place that trains the next generation of writers and showrunners. Television's entire training pipeline is breaking down before our eyes, because these streaming shows are usually written by like 1 or 2 people. Like they have a showrunner or a couple of executive producers or just head writers. It's the same with the Disney Plus shows as well. So you're pretty much making it impossible for someone to break into the industry with all these, you know, with the CW as well. As you said, so many people broke into it. So if you're an up and coming writer who has eyes on TV, it's not looking good, because it's not just the CW, it's pretty much all of broadcast television. But what happens next with the higher cost CW shows, which is pretty much any of the original content that's made by Warner Brothers or Paramount at the moment? So that's Flash. Flash is ending, so Flash, it doesn't count. So you're mainly looking at like shows like Superman and Lois, Stargirl, Kung Fu, Walker, all those type of shows, even Gotham Knights. It's those type of shows. So what happens? Are they going to get cancelled because Nexstar doesn't want to put up the cost for them? Or are they going to move over to their respective streaming servers? So in regards to Superman, Lois and Stargirl in particular, because they're shows we cover on this channel, are they going to move over to HBO Max? And that's probably the most likely thing. If they're going to survive for another couple of years, I think it's that they have to move to HBO Max. I don't know how they keep surviving in their current quality with Nexstar in charge of the CW. They have to move, I think. Like, I don't know how they keep going. So I think it's either that they get cancelled or end, but it's an abrupt ending, which is pretty much a borderline cancellation, or they do move to HBO Max. And in regards to like shows like Walker and any of those other shows that aren't Warner Brothers shows, they move over to, you know, Paramount Plus. So it's something that people are going to keep their eyes on for the next 6 to 12 months, because I think there's like a lack of clarity around what's going to be happening going forward. Now we have Stargirl premiering in just over 2 weeks, I think, when this video will come out. And I think they would have to start filming. If there's going to be a season 4, they probably have to start filming around end of September, maybe October. That's usually when they start the filming of their seasons. So hopefully we get some news around that, and maybe that's like the first sign of like a move from the CW. But yeah, we'll have to wait and find out. But in regards to the HBO Max stuff, we know that HBO Max in a year is going to not exist. We know that HBO Max and Discovery Plus are merging into some super streaming service that is yet to have a name, and there's doubt about the current scripted content over there. We know that like Titans and Doom Patrol and a bunch of other shows have doubts as to whether they go past this season. So you add those doubts to Superman and Lois and Stargirl. So Superman and Lois, Stargirl, and a bunch of these other shows that would, be affiliated with HBO Max, they already have the issue with the CW, and then they've got the issue with if they even have the possibility to move to this new streaming service at Warner Brothers as well. It's a mess in more ways than one, and I would not want to be someone that's affiliated with these shows, whether it's an actor, whether it's a writer, whether it's a showrunner or a creator, because who knows what your future is in the next 12 months. It sounds like one big headache, and not a good one. Is there even a good form of headache? Maybe there is, but this sounds like the worst type of one. But in a nutshell, just to finish off this, the CW is reality shows, cheap syndication or cheap syndicated or international shows, and pretty much the news. That's pretty much the future of the CW, but also it's the impending future of a lot of broadcast networks. And really, most of the other broadcast networks were like that anyway. If you really go through their TV guides or their TV schedules, a lot of them are filled with like cheap reality shows or just unscripted content, like competition shows and game shows and singing competitions and all that type of stuff. Now, some of them they cost a bit more to make. Like I think Survivor costs more than like a American Idol or something like that. But it's you don't have to hire all these writing staff and everything like that. It's pretty much just production crew. So you're seeing just the breakdown, as I think Zach Stent said in one of those tweets, you're seeing the breakdown of this scripted content and just the writers as well. Like, God, you wouldn't want to be one, an up and coming one. Like, it would suck. But really the thing that's the biggest flash before people's eyes with the CW going down the path it is that the CW was the last real network with an identity and brand, but that is no more. And I'm just very curious to see what happens with the shows that we still love on that network that haven't ended or are about to end, and what their future holds over the next 12 months, because I think it's unclear as possible. Like, who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Bit of a downer. Just realized this video is a bit of a downer, but hopefully you can like the information presented and drop a like on the video to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions about this. Did you even read the information this way? Are you worried? What do you think is going to happen with shows like Superman, Lois and Stargirl? Do you think they'll be able to move over to whatever the streaming service is over at Warner Brothers in the next 12 months? Or do you think they will be cancelled? What do you think is going to happen? Let me know in the comments. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.